welcome back to part 2 of Attempted Optimism Podcast, top 5 favorite things about fall. We hope you enjoy. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell us what your favorite things about the fall are. All right, what do you got?
Kind of go with it too.
Yeah. Number 3.
Yeah. Number 3, you already know what time it is. It's hoodies. Hoodies are the best. And I can't really get too much further into it without going into my number 2, but hoodies, being comfortable, being cozy. Yeah. I'm all about. Like, I have flannel pajamas.
Love it. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. As you should. So, it's 90 degrees where you're at right now, but those flannel pajamas feel right in the moment.
It's not that hot because we actually have a lot of wind blowing right now.
Oh, yeah.
The whole storm is bearing down on us.
Just trying to make it feel like fall for you down there.
I desperately need it to be fall or something moving on. Yeah. Because I guess the best thing about fall, and maybe we should end on this, is that fall means that we're closer to winter, and winter means that 2020 will be over.
Amen and praise the Lord. Clip it and ship it, boys. That's the end of the podcast. No,
shut it down.
We'll see you next week for the second installment. No, okay. Hoodies. So hoodies, absolutely.
Comfortable clothes. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So number 3 for me, and I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on this one either. Number 3 for me is Harry Potter marathons. And before we get into it, here's the thing. I recognize you can watch the Harry Potter movies at any time of the year, but the bottom line is there's only one right time to watch them, and it's during the fall. Yep. Like, if you go and look at the television, when did they do the marathons? It's always in the fall, normally middle of October or early November. There's something incredible about it being brisk and cool outside and sitting down on your couch and binge watching the Harry Potter movies. When we were in seminary, we did a week-long Harry Potter marathon with a bunch of our friends, and we hosted in different apartments, and we did themed nights. So we would decorate and try to make it as Harry Potter as possible, and it was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun, but I've pretty much always watched the Harry Potter movies in the fall. And I just love it. And if you go back and kind of watch the movies, you'll notice that's kind of where the movies are themed around. They're almost all fall related until the last 2 movies, then it's summer, I think. But I just love it. It makes sense in my brain. So that's number 3 for me. It's Harry Potter marathons.
It's those traditional things. Yeah. It's to me, the Harry Potter marathon is the same as, other people watching Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. Yep. Or all the Rudolph the Reindeer movies, all those claymation movies for Christmas, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I've always got
and Halloweentown.
Oh my gosh, Halloweentown is one of the greatest masterpieces the world has ever seen, and you can't change my mind. There are some movies that Disney Channel came out with that stand out
on point.
And Halloweentown and Harry Potter, it's going back to it. No, but Halloweentown was one of those. I absolutely love that movie. I might have to watch that this year. I wonder if it's on Disney Plus.
It might be. We need to check that out.
I know what we're doing right after this podcast. Halloweentown. Halloweentown. Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh. The dude it was the guy that lives in the house, and everything that anybody loses goes to.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, we should maybe watch this together.
Yeah.
I think we've got a Halloweentown date night coming up.
The grandma. Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to watch this, and we can have.
By the way, headphone warning. We're super late for that. You might want to put it in the beginning. Headphone warning for this episode.
Yeah. I'll put it in. I don't think it's any different than a normal podcast for you, but I'll put it in just in case. All right, number 2 on your list. What do you got? Number 2.
So number 2 kind of tracks with number 3. Hoodies go with the weather, right? So to me, weather really summer weather is hot.
Yeah, right? Disgusting.
Spring, it's wet. Right, winter,
spring, hate it. Spring's decent. I will give spring decent.
Sure, but because I like thunderstorms.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of depends on where, like, the problem for me, and I'll just kind of join in with this one. The problem with me for spring now is that ever since moving to West Texas, I have the worst allergies I've ever had in my life. So spring for me is like, oh, it's windy, and now I'm going to die today because my allergies are going to kick in. So it's like, I'm with you. All right, what'd you have to say about winter? So, hit me with winter.
So the weather of fall is like, to me, it goes back to the nostalgia, but also more importantly to the ASMR of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this moment, and I hope you're with me on that moment where you walk outside and you can see your breath. You know what I'm talking about?
Like in the mornings?
That is fall.
Mornings and evenings?
Yes. And it's so humid where I live that, like, I have where I'll breathe the air. Breathe the air.
Breathe the air that I breathe.
This is the air I breathe.
There we go. Dude, I haven't sang that song in so long. Unbelievable. What a throwback.
But my beard and my mustache will get like droplets on it because of the humidity and because of like me speaking. And it's one of the most, I'll say this about myself, it's one of the most attractive things I can see in movies is any character, it doesn't matter who, doing that where they're talking and you can see their breath. I don't know what it is.
You just love that.
There's something about that is pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so good. This is probably the weirdest episode of the podcast we're gonna have.
I mean, arguably one of the strangest ones we've ever done. It's been really centered around ASMR for you, which I mean we can talk about later if you want. But
we need to do an ASMR episode.
No, we're not going to do that. Absolutely no. I gotta have to mute you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to mute his microphone. No. Okay, so funnily enough, because we're going to keep talking about this, number 2 on my list is sweater weather. That's what I put. So I grew up in Kansas, and something about the weather is both incredible because I love it, but also incredibly nostalgic, which I think adds to the joy of it. There's something about like the weather takes me back to like going outside and starting a fire pit and having big, like I remember like fall is always when they do like a big party at a friend's house where we'd all go run around and play outside, and we'd drink sodas or drink hot chocolate and we just enjoy the weather. I mean, you'd be out till 2 a.m. because it's just like, it never gets too cold for you, right? Like if you get too cold, you just put another jacket on or whatever. And it's like, the weather is unbelievable. And I love that you can wake up in the morning, put on a hoodie, maybe midday, it's warmed up a little bit, so you don't even need the hoodie. You can walk around outside and be cool. And then by the evening, it's back to that.
But be wearing a flannel shirt.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. If you look in right now I don't have any flannel, but I have this jacket, right? So the inside of it's like that slick material. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's a little bit like, but the outside is flannel. So it's like, it's the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. It's just great. But I'm a sweater guy. Like if you look in my closet, I look like Mr. Rogers, especially with the uniform that we wear every day. I love my red cardigan. I love my blue cardigan. I love sweater weather. It's the best. And there's also something about it that like takes me to a trip that I had in the mountains of North Carolina. Man, it just takes me there. Like the weather can transport, and I'm nowhere near mountains. That's not true. I'm like 5 hours from mountains in New Mexico, but like it blows me away. For me, like we talked about spring, summer is unbearable for me. I've always hated summer. Like as a kid, I was not that kid that's like, let's go to the pool, let's play outside, let's ride bikes. I was like, no. Like, where's your closest air-conditioned building? Because
and let me in there.
Yeah, like I'm not a big guy as far as like weight, but I am like arguably one of the sweatiest people I've ever met. Like if it's like 75 degrees, I'm sweaty. Like I just get so sweaty so quickly.
Same.
And so it's like, for me, it's like uncomfortable. Like my house right now is set at 68. And it feels great. But then when the air conditioner kicks off, it's like, I get sweaty. Like it's just, it's not enjoyable. And nobody really wanted to know that, but now you know.
Look, hey, we're just coming out.
Yeah. We're just telling everybody everything at this point. And so like summer I hate.
Guys.
Now, the longer I've lived away from Kansas, the more I miss snow. which a lot of people don't, but like I miss snow. Justin and I watch a streamer named Tim the Tap Man who lived in Syracuse, New York, and he talks about how much he hates snow. He just recently moved to Florida. Like for me, I miss snow, and we actually got snow last year during Christmas or right after Christmas, which was unbelievable because it's like I hadn't seen snow in a few years. Actually, it's kind of weird. Snow kind of seems to follow us a little bit. It hadn't snowed here in like 5 or 6 years. It snowed here last year. When we lived in San Antonio, it hadn't snowed in like 35 years, and it snowed the day we brought our son home from the hospital, which is unbelievable. But I miss snow. I'm not that guy that's like going to run around in the snow and, roll and build a snowman or anything.
It from a distance,
exactly.
Man.
I like the cool. I like the brisk air. I just like to see it. I like an excuse to stay home and enjoy a cup of coffee at the house. So for me, winter's like close second because again, I can always put on more jackets. If I get cold, I could put a warm blanket on. But something about the fall weather, it hits different. And I can't wait because we're getting close. I don't know what the weather is, but we had like 2 weeks ago, we had 3 days where the highs was in the 50s. Yeah. And it was like fall weather. And I was like, I cannot wait for this every day for the 2 weeks that it's going to be this way until it gets way too cold.
I think there's a vacation planned or in the works of being planned for us to go somewhere very high altitude and a very cold, snowy place. My
wife and I talk all the time about going to Colorado because we used to go to Colorado when I was a kid. We went on vacation there all the time. And one of my favorite memories was sitting in a hot tub while it was snowing outside in Colorado.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. So anytime I can go someplace colder than where I live, I will. Yeah. So, all right. So that's my number 2. We're actually right in line on the exact same one for number 2, which makes me interested in what number 1 is for you.